Sports Podcast, sponsored by Elam's Home Furnishings and Sleep Center, as well as Gobel Septic. And what's that? What do you got? A new sponsor alert. AmeriCool Heating and Cooling. Proud to have them along. Glad they're here to sponsor this phenomenal half hour, 45 minutes of Lewis County sports content.
We say the best sports podcast in Southwest Washington. I think we could.
I think so. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
An honest opinion of our podcast. I'm Aaron VanTuyl, joined tonight by Chronicle sports editor Alec Dietz and Chronicle sports reporter Josh Kirshenbaum.
I'm sorry, can I get the sound effect for a new Chronicle sports writer?
Oh, new Chronicle sports writer Josh Kirshenbaum. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you very much. Now I feel a lot better about myself.
Thank you for pointing that out. A huge oversight on my part. Fellas, we're in week 2 of the prep football season. Do you have any hot takes?
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
We thought we knew things, and we don't know them.
What was the biggest surprise of week 1?
Man, there were a lot of surprises. I was surprised Black Hills beat Montesano decisively. I was surprised PWV basically beat Tenino. Basically. We'll get into how they didn't later.
I was a little surprised by Toledo.
Yeah.
Raymond South Bend
Might be legit.
Yeah, are they going to make some noise? Are they a team to watch? Are they knocking on the door? Have they turned things around? Any other cliches we can throw about Raymond South Bend?
Right.
Our eyes.
And then Rainier kept up with Wakakum. I'm kind of surprised about that. That's a tough place to play.
It is indeed a tough place to play.
And it went into overtime. So, lots of surprise. And you must have been very surprised when Mossy Rock beat Concrete 60-6, considering you picked Concrete to win.
If I would have picked that one correctly, I would be the leader in the clubhouse in grid picks, but here we are.
Man.
All right, let's break down the week 1 games. In the 2As, WF West beat Ridgefield 38-28. Gavin Fugate had over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, his total yards. Gage Brumfield scored twice. Bearcats built a big lead and held on in the second half. Good showing heading into the Linden matchup coming this week. Was this a statement win for the Bearcats?
I think it was a statement win. I think this is where I ran on the parade a little bit. There was it was interesting watching that game because I don't know if there was ever a moment, even when they were up 28-7, I think it was, that you ever really felt like they were dominating. Mm-hmm. But they held on. They got all the defensive stops they needed to. The offense did kind of enough. They had just a huge swing because they had a 3-play swing where it was a touchdown, and then Ridgefield fumbled the kickoff, and then they scored another touchdown, and then I think they scored on their next possession again, and from there it was just kind of a hold-on job. It's about to get a lot harder for them very fast.
We will get to that in the grid pick section, but big game coming up with them. Linden coming to town. That should be interesting.
Lots of good things. I don't know. It was definitely a statement win. I'm still big on Ridgefield, but we'll see.
All right. Statement win for the Bearcats.
Statement win for the Bearcats.
Elma 20, Centralia 7. Elma got out to an early lead. Centralia didn't have a lot going on offense. JoJo Simpson had their lone touchdown, and they produced just 136 yards of total offense. Gabe Seymour ran for 79 rushing yards for the Tigers. Centralia, was this how the season's going to go, or are they still can they still turn it around and, do some stuff?
It's hard to tell. Week 1. Well, season 1 for Dustin McGee over there. So haven't gotten that game was over in the Harbor, so didn't get a good look at the offense. But it'll be interesting to see them this week against Battleground, who's kind of a down 4A program, and that's their home opener. So might be juiced up a little bit for the home opener, but you need to probably get a little more than 136 yards of total offense to be able to win football games. So
very true.
But I don't think Elma's a bad 1A side. I think they're sort of middle of the road. So I don't think that's like an awful result for a Centralia team.
Okay. Rochester 9, Seton Catholic 8. The Warriors hit a last-minute field goal to pull ahead, then blocked a chip shot field goal at the buzzer to win it. What a thriller. Tate Cornstrom at quarterback orchestrated the final drive. He had 110 rushing yards and went 3 of 5 passing for 58 yards and a touchdown. 9-8 win. You don't see a lot of those.
Yeah. Failed. Rochester scored first, failed 2-point conversion. And then Seton Catholic, I think in like the fourth quarter, drove down the field, scored a touchdown, got the 2-point conversion, and then Rochester hit that field goal and then blocked one. So yeah, kind of a thriller defense. It felt, AJ easily said it felt like just a week one football game, like offense is still figuring it out, like they had to drive a long way.
Also
down
come
to
in
Vancouver.
and say that, Seton Catholic is also like low-key a tough place to play.
Oh, is it? I have no idea.
I think we should start that one. It's like jammed. I mean, it's in Vancouver. It's kind of jammed into a corner where you're right next to the freeway. The stands are on top of you. I don't know. Got a little rowdy when I went there last time. So,
all right, interesting.
Weird things happen at SC.
New quip alert. Seton Catholic, tough place to play. Black Hills 33, Montesano 20. Montesano, ouch.
Yeah.
Black Hills, ooh.
Yeah, ooh. They matched their season win total from a year ago. Jackson Beck, 14 of 23 for 3 touchdowns, 206 yards. Johnny Stallings, sounds like a cowboy.
Yeah.
21 carries for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I mean,
Is Black Hills the real deal? Are they a team to watch?
Scoreline looks promising, and getting their stats. Beck hit, it was 3 TDs. They had multiple receivers with like 5 catches. They spread the ball around. Keegan Rogan.
Their tight end had like 10 carries.
6'8" tight end or 6'7", something like that. He ran the ball like 9 times for 53 yards as a fullback.
It's pretty sweet.
And Montesano couldn't stop him. Garrett Baldwin, he thinks they've got this. He's got this team turned around, and he's pretty confident in them. So,
all right, sweet. And then last 2A game on the schedule, Tumwater 34, Burlington Edison 7. Carlos Matheny, 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. They used 2 quarterbacks and held Burlington Edison in check throughout. Pulled away in the second half. The defense and Carlos Matheny were as good as advertised. Is this just what we're going to see all year from Tumwater?
Yeah.
Quarterback controversy, though.
They have that every year.
You know what they say? If you got 2 quarterbacks,
You got no quarterbacks.
don't have one.
They had the same thing last year. Overbay was like hurt or something, and they started that Prothero kid who was pretty good, and then Overbay ended up starting the second half of the season. So,
Well, how'd that turn out for them?
they lost in the state title to Linden.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a huge problem, losing the state title. But
It's a down year for Tumwater.
Yeah.
But that Matheny's kind of the engine. I think he had almost 30 carries in that game. So still very much the wing tee, and they've got a big game this week too against highly regarded North Kitsap team.
All right. Alec, you were mentioning you shared some advice with Kevin Schultz.
Yeah. I was out in PL for the big game, and Kevin came down. I guess he had a break in his busy college schedule to go watch the Beavers play, and he asked where the bathroom was, and I pointed him out to a Global Septic Santa Can.
Was it all smiles for the rest of the night for Kevin then?
Well, I mean, the football game was probably a little stressful for him, but it probably maybe alleviated the stress. I don't know.
Global Septic, one of our oldest sponsors. They provide septic service and portable sanitation for Thurston, Lewis, Mason, Cowlitz, and Grays Harbor counties, even the edges of Lewis County, as Kevin Schultz can tell you out in PL. Septic pumping, septic inspection, septic riser installation, commercial septic pumping, of course, grease trap services. And as we know, they'll rent you a porta potty and a sink. Visit Global Septic, GOEBEL, septic.com, or give them a call, 360-736-2167. How about some 1A football? And Alec, you want to talk about the game you were at there, Tenino and PL Valley?
Yeah, PWV had it all the way. They had momentum. They scored first to go up 7-0. Tenino had busted off a long run on the next drive, but failed on the 2-point conversion. And it was 7-6 the entire game up until the very end. Tenino went 3 and out in their own end zone, and the punter couldn't handle the snap. So PWV got the ball on the Tenino 5-yard line or something, and then they ended up fumbling it. Tenino gets the ball back and finally muster up some offense. Cody Strawn connected with Max Craig on like a 50-yard, just a dime of a throw to take the lead. And then Dylan Spicer had a garbage touchdown to make it look not as close as it actually was.
Garbage time touchdown. I'm sure it looked all right.
I mean, it was garbage. The PWV was kind of he just bursted through the line. It was a garbage touchdown.
Wow.
It was.
What a take.
Come on.
Jeez.
Scores once and you take it away from him.
Your mom could have run through that line for that touchdown.
Oh, that's harsh.
No.
Mrs. Kirshenbaum catching strays.
All the way down and
No. I mean, it was a fine run. But garbage time touchdown to make it not look as close as it was. But Tenino escaped. Gary Nagel said they didn't deserve to win, but they found a way to win. So
I thought you were going to say Kerry Nagel said they didn't deserve to win, and I agree with him.
I mean, I do. PWV out. I mean, I think anyone that watched that game would, sometimes you get lucky with certain things. Tenino muffed a lot of snap exchanges. You could tell they had a new center quarterback, combo trying to work it out. But, good teams find a way to win even when they don't play well. So
while we're being negative, I do want to point out beautiful uniform matchup.
yes.
More
That
of
was
those.
nice.
MPL was gorgeous.
Field's in good shape.
That was the first time Field was in great shape. And that was the first time I covered a football game out there. And it was, it got a little cold faster than I expected, but it was good.
All right. Going into some more 2B stuff. The big one, one of the big ones, Napavine 40, Adna nothing. Napavine had 495 yards of total offense. Adna had 22, and that kind of sums it up. Ashton Demarest had 291 passing yards with 4 touchdowns, threw into 4 different receivers. He also ran for 93 yards. And as I've mentioned before, you see that 40-0 score, and that kind of just tells you everything.
Josh Fave really is the master of that 40-0 football game.
Excellent control. Yeah.
They have so many 40-0 games.
We are going to get to 40 and then we're going to stop.
Yes.
If Napavine beats you more than 40-0,
They don't like you.
Then it's personal.
Right. That is, I think they had at least 5 of those games last year. So
Yeah. Napavine looks pretty good.
looks pretty good. Number 3, according to Ryland, but I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Morton White Pass 44, Ilwaco 8. This was a late scheduled game. Carter Dantine and Brecken Pelletier combined for 226 of MWP's 264 yards. Nice little win for them. That was a Saturday game, too, in Morton, right?
Yeah, that was in Morton.
Okay.
And, Dantine scored 2 touchdowns on the ground and then took a fumble back to the house. So he had 3 total touchdowns. I know they were going in. Lee Metcalf was to the season. Lee Metcalf was saying they were planning on sort of running 2 quarterbacks with Brecken Pelletier and Judah Kelly. And by the end of the game, it was basically just Pelletier running it. And they said they were still going to run with the 2 quarterback thing and get Kelly some more reps in practice. But 44 points. It's a pretty good day at the office.
Looks like things are going about as they want them to.
Yep.
Next one, Onalaska 30, Oroville nothing. This was the Leavenworth game.
1Q.
Yeah, game lasted a quarter and a half before Oroville didn't have enough players to continue. Case McGraw, 140 yards and a touchdown. Cade Mazingo was 2 for 2 passing for 75 yards with 2 touchdowns. To Cooper Lawrence and Blaze Underhill. And we need to ask, is Onalaska bad for 2B football?
I think we should just extrapolate, multiply it by 4. So Case McGraw really finishes with what? What's 140 times 4?
560?
Yeah, something like that. And 4 touchdowns. Mazingo goes 8 for 8 for 300
yards. And 8 touchdowns.
8 touchdowns.
Great performance for them.
And Onalaska wins 120-0. Yeah.
How mad do you think how mad did Maz seem that they only got to play a
They
quarter
were
and a half?
pretty upset, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. You wait all summer and you get up there and the other guys are like, we're out of players. Sorry, guys. went all the way to Leavenworth for this.
Yeah.
I hope they at least got some good schnitzel.
Yeah, Oroville drove longer. I think they're 2 or 3 hours away. So just weird matchup. I don't know.
Well, maybe Oroville was just there for the
Well, they were supposed to play last year, remember? And then Oroville canceled at the last minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God, what a
I think they really wanted to get the game in.
highly anticipated matchup. They've been waiting a year and a half for it. And
Yep.
this. Next matchup, Wahkiakum 36, Rainier 28 in overtime in Cathlamet. Good showing for a rebuilding Mountaineers team. Trevor Anderson ran for 102 yards. New quarterback Jake Meldrum ran for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns and was 6 of 13 for 53 passing yards.
Yeah. Just, pretty good showing.
When in doubt in 2B football, throw the ball less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that team. And I think it just kind of fits Jake Meldrum's style a little bit more. He's not the thrower that Sprofsky or Green was. So to kind of spread the rushing attack. And it looked like it worked out pretty well for them. They struggled to score other than their first game last year against Toledo. That was like a shootout. The rest of them, they kind of struggled to score in. So I think it's a good showing for Rainier, and that's a long drive for them.
Tough place to play.
It's a tough place to play, but it's like especially tough, like not even joking, for Rainier. Like that's a long drive. So
yeah. Let's see. Raymond, South Bend, 35, Toledo, 20. And you write, could preseason darling RSB be legit?
Todd Millis has been singing their praises. I mean, I think Toledo won that game like 40-6 last year or something. So
yeah, I went to that game last year. Yeah, I think it was like 36-15 or yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it looked like Toledo's rebuilding guys. Trying to get their rushing attack in check. They got a new quarterback, and it sounded like they had some problems with snap exchanges, and they had a hard time containing RSB's quarterback. So, yeah.
And that quarterback for RSB, Austin Snodgrass, he ran 130 yards on 6 carries. Yeah, Toledo lost 3 fumbles.
I think 110 of those yards were on 2 touchdowns in the second half because he had like a 50-yard run and a 60-something yard run.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what it would take to make Mike Christensen mad because he didn't. He was pretty matter of fact when he called that score, and it was pretty much like, yep, the offense fumbled it away, but wasn't awful, and the defense wasn't awful, but gave up too many big plays late.
So you would say Mike Christensen generally stays cool?
I would say that he generally stays cool, but if he needed help getting hot, we might have somebody to help him out.
Or cool. He could visit AmeriCool Heating and Air Conditioning.
Could.
Whether you want to be heated or chilled, give our friends at AmeriCool a call. Your comfort is their business. They offer full-service HVAC installation services and repairs, and they offer 100% satisfaction guarantee on everything they do. Everything, whether they're making you hot or cold.
Wow.
Are they sponsoring the podcast room?
It is cool in here.
It is quite cool in here. You can tell we've had
a AmeriCool doing it. Good job, guys.
To request an appointment, give them a call, 360-273-3300. They're located off Old Highway 99 in Centralia, and they have 24/7 emergency service available. A couple more games at the 1B level. Mossy Rock 60, Concrete 6.
Yeah.
Vikings had 44 points in the first half, making 3 of us grid pickers look like fools. Easton Kolb.
Not us 3 of you.
Yeah.
3 people, which included me.
Yeah.
Easton Kolb, 5 of 6 for 150 yards and 4 touchdowns. Keegan Kolb, 80 receiving yards. Good win for the Vikings. Is this turnaround for them?
I mean, they're just still going up because it's pretty much the same team they had last year.
Yeah. They got a big game this week against, I know Quilcene just got run out of the building by Nacelle, but Quilcene was the state runner-up last year, and they're heading out there to the peninsula. It's on the peninsula, right? Yeah, Quilcene.
Yeah, they're up that way.
So that's a big test for them. I think that's like if they're ready to announce themselves kind of on the state stage.
Fun fact about Concrete High School I learned. Goes over a road. That's the only thing I know about Concrete High School.
The library is
it's like
on a bridge over a road.
You can't pick a team.
Very cool looking.
Wild.
Yeah, insane. You wouldn't see anything like that now.
That's your preview of Concrete High School for the grid pick section later.
Winlock 30, Tootle Lake nothing. A rare 8-man shutout. Just 12 yards of offense for Tootle Lake. Peyton Sickles had 139 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and threw for 39 yards and another TD for Winlock. Is the Cardinals defense the new Crimson Curtain, or what's going on? Winlock good or Tootle Lake not great?
Yes.
I think it's hard to tell. I think Winlock scored a lot of their touchdowns late, so they're definitely working on a lot of new pieces. Peyton Sickles did a lot for them, and they didn't really get a lot from other players. And obviously, I know Tootle Lake is a struggling program there, so Winlock's got a couple should be wins on their schedule for the first couple weeks of the season. So. Get some confidence for a new group. I think they play Concrete this week. So
yeah. And you mentioned Winlock working in some new pieces.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to work some new pieces in.
I do. I just moved.
Into your living room or bedroom or dining room or all the above. Go see our friends at Elam's Home Furnishings and Sleep Center, located at 1530 South Gold Street in Centralia. All the best furniture. What's your situation like in your living room, Josh?
It is completely empty. I moved last week, and there is no furniture in it.
Nothing. Wow. Just a canvas for our friends to paint a masterpiece for you.
If they want to hook me up,
I'm sure they will, and maybe get you a nice. We used to always joke about Alex sleeping on like a ratty mattress he found covered in rats in his back alley.
I mean, I was planning on moving my stuff up from Longview, but right now it's an air mattress that I blew up with my own 2 lungs because I forgot to buy a pump.
Sounds like you got a hell of a situation, and you need to make one hell of a trip to Elam's Home Furnishings and Sleep Center
At 1530 South Gold Street.
That's right. You can even give them a call, 360-807-1211, or send them an email and be like, I don't have any stuff. Help me out.
Stuff.
Elam at elamshf.com.
They should change the name. Elam's got stuff.
Yeah. Well, things to sit on. Other sports teams to watch? You guys, anything cool you seen lately?
I watched WF West sweep Washougal yesterday in volleyball. Pretty impressive win. They looked pretty clean all the way around. Not a lot of errors. Where Washougal, there were a ton of errors. So starting off the season with a sweep is always a good thing. And Centralia also swept Olympic on the road with a pretty new team. So both of them looked pretty good in their first action on Tuesday.
And
right.
I watched WF West Soccer have not nearly as good a night. They lost 3-1 to La Center, who was a good 1A team. They went down 3-0 in the span of about 10 minutes between the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half before I think it was Cam Sheets pulled a goal back with a free kick. But talking to Alan Anderson, just a lot of new faces sort of trying to gel. Just couldn't really keep possession outside of their own half and invited pressure, and La Center took advantage of it. Centralia also lost. They were 0-0 at River Ridge for 65 minutes until River Ridge scored on a free kick, and that was the only goal in a 1-0 game. So yeah, not as good a time for the local soccer team, local 2A Soccers.
All right. And with that, we're going to take a break, and we will be back in just a minute with surprise guest. I guess it's not a surprise. We knew it was coming.
Do they know it's coming?
Lucas Dahl from last year's Napavine state finalist football team is joining us to talk about what he's doing now, and I think we're going to drag him through grid picks with us. All right, we're on now with Lucas Dahl. Lucas was a state runner-up with Napavine's football team as a wide receiver and defensive back. All-area football pick last season. He won 2 state titles in track last spring. Now he is at Pacific University. And Lucas, tell us a little bit about what you're doing there. And I hear you just got there today, or classes started today. What's going on?
Oh, yeah, actually, I got here about a month ago on August 10th. Also, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you.
And, yeah, I got here about a month ago, August 10th. I started class about 2 weeks ago, actually. It's been going really good. I had about 3 weeks of fall football camp. That was something, a little different. I actually really enjoyed it, though. Yeah, it was great. Did that for about 3 weeks. Started school about 2 weeks ago. It's a lot different. I'd say the efficiency is probably the biggest thing so far about just about everything, meetings, practice, just the way they run things here is really great so far. Yeah. Yeah, so far it's been really fun. Having a great time.
Have you had a welcome to college moment, like in practice you got hit hard or forgot a play and ran the wrong way, or did you have any of those moments in practice yet?
Oh, numerous times.
Is there one that comes to mind?
There's one, yeah, definitely. On the I think it was either my first or second play we were running 7-on-7. My first practice out there at college. I caught a ball across the middle and it got leveled a little bit, but yeah, that was interesting. It was a little bit of a wake up call, but yeah, I'm still enjoying it so much. That was easily a wake up call. I've gotten plays wrong numerous times. The playbook here is a little different than high school for sure. That's probably the biggest thing. Yeah, definitely a lot more complicated. But yeah, I'd say the biggest wake up call was probably that, with those new sized linebackers here at college. So
Yeah.
yeah, a little different.
And you're still running track too. Do you guys train for track in like now, or do you wait until spring for that?
We wait until actually winter, because we'll have a indoor track as well as outdoor track. So yeah, it'll be about a couple weeks after football's done, which is like late November, and then we'll have track workouts starting in winter. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that too. Yeah, I'll be doing track as well.
All right, sweet.
What's it been like? Sort of transitioning from getting used to college fall camp to now starting to get into college game week and sort of that process?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is probably all the responsibility is on you. No one's really watching out for you as much as I would say in high school. Yeah, just a big change for the playbook is no one's watching over your back, looking over your back. It's all on you. You really have to take accountability for yourself and have a good attitude, come out every day, and especially during fall camp. That was a big change for me. It was no breaks every day, 3 weeks straight. Yeah, especially game weeks too. It's a lot different. Very efficient. Practices are very efficient. Meetings. We have about 3 different types of meetings, two or three different meetings a day. Just in game weeks, and yeah, it's just it's really your whole life is football at this point, especially fall camp. So I love that. But yeah, it's a big change so far, going from high school just having practice to now in college having meetings every day, about 2 or 3 times a day, and then practice is just very efficient. So that's the biggest changes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. I didn't realize indoor track season. I totally forgot. Have you ever run on an indoor track? I know, especially in like the 200, that curve is kind of different on an indoor track than it is.
Oh yeah, I've actually. Yeah, I can't say I've ever ran in an indoor track before. The only place was at Eastern in their little warm up indoor place, but that's about it. I haven't ran on any of those different curves for the 200 or anything. So yeah, that'd be a big change for me, but pretty excited for it actually, because no wind or anything, so that'd be nice.
Right, and I know I don't know. I know. I went to school at UW, and they didn't have like the tilted up curves, but some tracks have that like. It's like at an angle to get you going faster on that curve.
Yeah.
And it's like totally wild in indoor.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've watched a lot of NCAA indoor track, and I think it's something I would actually really like to do, but it's obviously going to be way different than what I'm normally doing.
Right. Well, moving on to just, your Napavine days. I kind of wanted to ask, we already talked about for that story months ago, just kind of looking back on the year, but we kind of focused on track with looking back on football last year. Obviously it didn't end the way you wanted it to end, but what was kind of special about getting that last season? And, you guys ran the table all the way up until that state title game.
I think the most special thing about it was playing with those guys as long as I did, from 3rd or 4th grade all the way up to 12th grade to be a senior. I say that was the most special part. Just being really like a family and loving each other and looking out for each other. And we had great leaders, especially Gavin Keith, myself, Glade Shannon, all great leaders. We had a lot of great scout guys. They were always competing during the week, making us better. I'd say it was just a whole team thing. Everybody really competed every week, in and out. The coaches, obviously, Coach Fay, Demarest Wilson, you can't really count those guys out anytime. So, yeah, definitely a team effort, I'd say for sure. Just everybody looking out for each other. That's just how Napavine is. It's really just everybody looking out for each other, and I love that. I definitely miss it. Yeah, that's the most special thing, is everybody just looking out for each other, for sure.
All right, and with that, we've got a Napavine anyway has a big game coming up this week. Napavine on Alaska. Is that one you guys would typically circle on the calendar as a rivalry game, or is the rivalry all it's pumped up to be, do you think?
Oh no, yeah, that's definitely a rivalry game. Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
You've been talking to the guys back home about it?
Yeah, a little bit. They're very, very excited to play them. A lot of those, especially these younger guys that didn't get to play last year, watched us get on them a little bit. So, yeah, that's definitely a rivalry game. Especially last year, that was easily the biggest game on our schedule, for me at least. But yeah, that's easily a big rivalry game.
What is a week of prep in practice look like for Ani? Like, does it look significantly different than any other team on your schedule? Like, is the intensity up? Like, obviously you guys are probably a bit more physical to try to get, like, just take us through what a week looks like preparing for Alaska.
Yeah. All right. So I'll take you through like a Monday is normally a little it's our film session. A little bit shorter, I'd say, because you don't really have to scheme too much for them. It's kind of more physical.
Right.
So I'd say our practices are a lot more banging heads, coming at each other, especially if I play defensive back. So I didn't have much of a big factor on defense, but yeah, a lot of physicality during the week. The coaches really, really preach that. It's a really fun week though. It's a lot different than I'd say a normal week, but because they're such a strong physical team year in and year out. So you really have to prepare yourself mentally and physically the entire week for Ani. They're a tough team to slow down. So yeah, I'd say a week for Ani.
Yeah,
a little bit different.
Yeah, what do you have like kind of a favorite moment in any of those games you played against them that kind of stands out? Could either be you or a teammate. Could be from last year or whenever.
Oh man, I think I was a sophomore in high school. We were playing at Alaska and the Mud Bowl, if you guys remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, that was a fun one. It's kind of embarrassing, but I got leveled by Alex Frazier, if you remember him.
Yep, big dude.
Yeah, and he picked me up and told me, like, just keep playing. You're doing well. You're a little guy. You'll keep learning and stuff. So that was a really big. That was really big for me to kind of keep going, and I kind of kept myself going. I remember that a lot every time I think about playing on Alaska, because that group of guys is a great group of guys. So yeah, that's probably the most impactful thing playing against them.
Yeah, Frazier, he's a good dude. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Obviously you're pretty familiar with this year's Napavine team. How far do you think they can go? And what do you think of them this year?
Obviously I'll have a lot of bias for them, but I think they have a great squad. I played with all those guys last year. They have a lot of heart. They have a lot of spirit. All those guys just play with so much fire, like including Cale Stanley. Even as a sophomore last year, he was our spark. He was just great on defense and offense. Ashton is he's grown so much. I can already see. I went to this last week against that, and he's grown so much. We have a lot of young guys. Carson Denault, James Gross, he's coming up. I think he's going to be a junior, right?
Yeah.
And we got a lot of outside, just a bunch of athletic kids that I think will be a great impact. And I think they can. I don't want to jinx anything or put too much pressure on them, but obviously I have faith in my guys to go all the way for sure.
All right, cool.
How long do you think it takes them to learn how to block and tackle? I'm new to this area, and that's the only thing I learned from Josh Fay.
Yeah. How long to what?
I mean, talking to Coach Fay, it was always blocking and tackling, and whether they knew how to block and tackle. You think it takes a bit? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a thing you got to put in your head. It's a lot of mental stuff. He'll preach that too. It's something you definitely got to mentally prepare for. Obviously, physically prepare for, but you really got to put in your head. You got to really want to do it. So
yeah. All right, we're going to run through grid picks. We do this every week, list off the local games, and our panel of horrible experts take a stab at who's going to do what. Yeah. Let's see. Last week, week one, Alec and I both went 9-3. Josh and Jordan Nalen of the Daily News both went 8-4. And guest, well, I guess he's not a guest. He's just kind of a contributor. Brandon Hansen and publisher Chad Taylor were both 7-5. This week, let's see. First game on the schedule is Black Hills at North Thurston. Alec, Josh, and Chad have all got Black Hills. Brandon, me, and Jordan have all got North Thurston. Do you two want to defend your picks?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll take...
Lucas,
well, who you
jump
got?
in there.
Sorry.
You're good.
I'll take, actually, kind of a fun fact. My dad used to coach at North Thurston, so I'll take North Thurston.
Okay.
All right. Good pick. There you go. That's the tiebreaker. Battleground at Centralia. Let's see.
Do you like Tigers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tigers versus Tigers.
Yeah. Big Tiger matchup here. Chad and Jordan both went Centralia. Everybody else has got Battleground. Lucas, how do you feel about this one?
I know about Centralia's new coach. That's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah.
But I'm probably have to go Battleground. Centralia's just really young.
Yeah, that's probably safe. Linden at WF West. Linden defending state champs. WF West coming off a statement win over Ridgefield in week 1. Chad's got WF West. Everybody else has got Linden. Lucas, don't feel peer pressured or anything, but where are you leaning on this one?
Linden is ranked. I'm pretty sure they're ranked number 1 in 2A.
Yes.
Yep.
And WF West is 6th, I believe. So, I'll go with the hometown WF West just to rep, but obviously the odds might be against them. But yeah, I'll go WF West.
They can do it. They just got to play the perfect defensive game.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's possible.
It is possible.
They just got to do it.
Yeah. Rochester at Kingston. Jordan went with Kingston. Everybody else has got Rochester coming off a thrilling 9-8 win in week 1.
It was thrilling. There was a blocked field goal. There was a field goal that bounced off the upright. I mean, that's a thrilling win. Come on.
It's thrilling, all right. Lucas, Rochester or Kingston? Who do you like?
I think everyone's gone Rochester. I don't know too much about those two teams, but I'll probably go Rochester. I know a couple guys on that team, so.
All right, that's fair. North Thurston at Tumwater. Tumwater's across the board on this one. North Kitsap, yeah. What did I say?
North Thurston.
Oh, yeah, that was a different game. North Kitsap at Tumwater.
Oh, I'll take Tumwater.
Yeah, that seemed pretty
Easily.
safe.
Yeah, that's a safe pick.
Yeah, for sure.
Playing the number 3 team in the state, according to some people.
doesn't
it's
matter.
Still a safe
I actually just played with North Kitsap's ex-quarterback.
Oh, yeah?
Was it Colton Bauer?
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's a big loss for them, but he was great to play with. Great quarterback.
Oh, cool.
For sure.
Squim at Tenino. Is Squim at Tenino?
Yeah.
Yeah, Squim at Tenino. Okay, Monster X at Quilcene. That's okay. I get my peninsula towns mixed up. Throw some North Kitsap in there, and I'm just problematic.
Blacktop, baby.
Yeah, the Blacktop. Everybody went Tenino except Brandon, who took Squim for some reason. Maybe he knows something we don't. Lucas, how do you feel about this one?
I'll take Tenino. I'll take Tenino for this one.
All right, cool. On Alaska at Napavine. We've got Napavines across the board.
Yeah, I'll take Napavine. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I don't know if I have any other choice.
Would you like to ever go home again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that'd be a possibility after that.
Toledo at Rainier. Brandon went Rainier. I don't think he's checked the records. Toledo. Everybody else has got Toledo. Raises a question. Toledo, are they the best 0-1 team in the state? Lucas, Toledo or Rainier?
I'll go Toledo.
All right, cool.
They took that tough loss off, I think it was South Bend last week, but yeah, I think they're still a pretty good team.
All right, PL Valley at Adna. Alec, Josh, and I, and Jordan have all got PL Valley, and Brandon and Chad have both got Adna. How do you feel about this one?
I think I might take PWV. I watched Adna at Napavine last week, and it looks like they might have some work to do. So, and I heard about PWV. They look physical, so I'll take PWV.
All right. Morton White Pass at White Swan. I don't know anything about White Swan, but everybody's gone Morton White Pass here. They beat Ilwaco pretty soundly in week 1.
Yeah, I'll take Morton White Pass here.
All right. Mossy Rock at Quilcene. Anybody have any Quilcene intel?
They got whooped by Nacelle last week, but I don't know if Nacelle's good, so I don't know if that's huge, and I know Mossy's trying to build up.
They're the state runner-up, and people who are published on various websites say they are still rankable, so take that as you will.
All right.
All of us experts, what do we know?
Yeah, everybody's got Mossy Rock except Jordan, who's got Quilcene. Lucas, do you know a lot about Mossy Rock or Quilcene?
I think I know a couple. Is it Keegan and Easton on Mossy Rock?
Yeah, the Kolb kids.
Yeah. I'll take Mossy Rock. I've known them for a pretty long time. So,
Winlock
they're
at
good.
Concrete. Concrete is coming off a 60-6 loss to Mossy Rock last week. All the experts have got Winlock in this one.
Oh, I'll take Winlock.
Never trust a school that goes over a road.
Yeah.
Their school looks cool, man.
It does look cool, but I don't know, man. I guess it affects the football.
Yeah. Oakville at Lake Quinault. Everybody's got Lake Quinault except Jordan, who's got Jordan and Chad have both got Oakville.
We know nothing about either team. This is kind of
This is just a crapshoot.
Both teams didn't play last week, so
I thought they played.
no, neither team played.
Oh well. Lucas, any Oakville or Lake Quinault intel?
Or do you have a coin?
I'll just take a guess here. I'll take Oakville for the like an odd man out, I guess.
All right, that's perfect. Yeah, that's our slate. Lucas, it's been great having you on. I think you guys got anything else you want to throw out there?
I don't think so. I'm going to be out at Napavine Ani this week. So if you're trying to follow along, you can check out my Twitter. I'll be tweeting it.
Josh, where are you going?
I think I'm going to North Kitsap at Tumwater.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah. What is that top 5 state matchup?
Top 3, I don't know.
Top 3, something like
Do
that.
rankings matter? Who knows?
Of course they do. And Crawler's shooting Linden WF West.
Yep.
So that's where people will be Friday. Are you in town Friday, Lucas? Or are you living the college life?
I will be. Yes, I actually have a bye week this week, so I will be. I'll be watching Napavine again this weekend. For
All
sure.
right. Okay. Well, have fun at Napavine Ani. Alec will probably see you there or something.
Probably.
Sweet.
I'll be the guy with the big camera, so.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'll recognize you.
All right. We're going to wrap up the podcast there. Thanks to Lucas Dahl for joining us, and we will talk to you guys next week.